Okay, so now we're on to the rim and the SGRAFFITO. So what I want to do is first I want to make sure that my pot is an even height. So how do I do that? I take a ruler, and the easiest way to do it is on a banding wheel. So I put my pot on a banding wheel. I don't angle my ruler, but I just keep it vertical, evenly vertical. And I want to find the highest spot of my, or the lowest spot rather, sorry, the lowest spot of my pot. So right here is the lowest spot. And it's about 2 3/4 of an inch. So I am going to just make a mark at 2 3/4. And then I'm just going to move the ruler over a little and make a mark at 2 3/4. 2 3/4. And I'm just going to do that all the way around my pot. And I'm going to be slicing this part off. It's best to do this now, otherwise your pot will not be even and you will not be happy with it. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take a fettling knife. I'm just going to make a little incision, a little cut, and keeping my fingers, 2 fingers in for support in the pot, I'm just going to sort of wiggle the fettling knife back and forth, cutting through the clay, meeting up all those little marks. The more marks you make, the easier it will be to cut. So meeting the knife up with all those little marks, and I'm cutting off the excess. There. Now it is even. So now I could see it's a little thick. This is about, let's see, 1/2 inch. You could go as thin as 1/4 of an inch. You might like it that thick. It might be too thick for you. So what I would suggest is pick up your pot again, and you can start pinching it more, starting from the bottom, moving around again, same as we did before, equal pressure. Making it a bit thinner. Then you realize you're going to have to smooth out again, but it's better to get your pot correct than to just wing it and say, oh, it'll look good, I'll fix it later, or something like that. You won't, and it won't look right. This is very important. Okay. I made it a bit thinner. I actually like it like that. So it is, let's see, it's a little bit smaller than 1/2 inch. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and smooth it out again in the middle. Actually, it didn't get too bumpy. I want to take my rubber rib and I want to smooth it out again because you can see there's some finger marks. Smooth it out again. Oop, I just made a mark again. Okay, you could just pick it up. Okay. There's some marks here I want to smooth out. Not hitting the metal rib into the clay, not hitting it, but rather pulling up, gliding it across the clay. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that that is the same height. Okay, so what we're going to do is the same thing. We are going to measure it again. Now it's still at 2 3/4. 2 3/4. The tiniest bit higher. 2 3/4. This just got a wee bit high, so we can just even carve it off the top. Okay. Alrighty, now we're going to make an attached rim. So now you're going to take a little bit more clay and we're going to move this over. And what you can do is you can just work this in your hand. You can roll it. You can also make a coil. Now a coil, you work from the middle out of your clay. You make like a log of clay and you work from the middle out, putting the same pressure. It's much easier to stand and do this. See how it's thin right here and thick right here? So I'm not going to worry about the right side. I'm going to concentrate on the left side. You can move it if it gets long, which is what you want. You want to move it. Off the surface of the whiteboard. Okay, so now what I can do with this, let's see. Well, I can put it on just like this and cut off the excess and make it a round rim. Or I could flatten it a bit, make it sort of a squared off rim. This got very narrow right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that. Part off. I'm going to cut that part off. And I'm going to just attach them. Actually, this is narrow here too. So what I can do then is I can use my ruler. We can just measure it.